I used to know. I close my eyes and she slipped through.
WSME, Camp Lejeune, W246CJ, Jacksonville.
Air Force One carrying President Biden to the G20 summit in India. In New Delhi, Russia's war in Ukraine will be on the agenda. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen.
I feel confident that we'll be able to make sure that we have funding. We continue to stand behind Ukraine for as long as is necessary.
The Secretary is speaking earlier at the G20. Hurricane Lee strengthens into an extremely dangerous Category 5 hurricane in the Atlantic. Winds 165 miles per hour right now. No coastal watches or warnings in effect. That from the National Hurricane Center. The most powerful Atlantic hurricane ever was Allen in 1980. 190 mile per hour winds. Day 9 of the manhunt for convicted killer Danilo Cavalcante in Chester County, Pennsylvania. Botanical Garden in the area is temporarily shut down after a possible sighting of the escaped inmate. America's listening to Fox News.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Live and local. Real talk starts now.
And what a day it's going to be. 7:02 in the morning, and temperatures on the rise. It's going to be hot, and probably even more hotter as the day goes by. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly Knapp.
Oh, me. And I'm the donkey man this morning. I'm sorry. I was in awe of all the lovely ladies as I'm sitting in between. It's like having a He-Man sandwich.
Well, before you melt, I'm Catherine.
Yeah, right. Sure. Well,
For another week anyway.
Another week.
At least. And then we'll be talking about it for a long time after that, if it manifests into something. All eyes are on that little storm out there in the hot Atlantic, Hurricane Lee. That's his name, a major storm with winds of 165 miles per hour as of the 5 a.m. advisory. It's been on a beeline course since it first formed up. The National Hurricane Center is still predicting that peak winds may reach as much as 180 miles per hour before it begins to come down a wee bit. The big question is, will it make landfall? And if so, where? It's still too early to call that one. There are some forecasters who say it's possible that it will begin to turn towards the north from its current west-northwest path. If it turns soon enough, Lee could pass between Bermuda and the East Coast without making landfall. That is the best case scenario we've got going right now.
That's just a big old if,
That's
right?
a big old if.
Okay.
There will likely be waves building along much of the U.S. coastline by early next week. Best to plan for the worst and hope for the best. If Lee comes ashore with the winds in even the 120 to 150 mile per hour range, there will be extensive damage and heavy flooding. If it looks like it will come anywhere near us and you live on the beaches, you will need to evacuate. Pay attention to reports from the National Hurricane Center and to your local government leaders. If they tell you to move, get off the island right away. The next Hurricane Center update will be at 11 o'clock this morning. Most of us have a couple days this weekend when we could and should make sure we have our plans in place. Locate important documents, including titles for your vehicles, insurance papers, and any valuable things like photographs. Be sure you have battery-powered flashlights and spare batteries, and make sure to top off your car with gasoline as we move into the upcoming week. Look around your property. Think about where you'll store any lawn furniture and trash cans. If you have some things like wheelbarrows, well, guess what? Think about how much damage a flying object will have.
Yep.
The wind is one thing. A wheelbarrow weighing 5 pounds going through the air is something else. You, of course, you might also have a plan to have at least 3 days of non-perishable food and water on hand. You might also fill any propane tanks for your grills if you have them. They can become your stove if electrical service is interrupted for several days, as happened during Hurricane Florence.
Yeah.
Again, be prepared to evacuate if the order is given. Those in low-lying areas, as well as those on the beaches, will be most vulnerable to flooding rivers and creeks, as well as heavy seas on the beaches. Roads may become impassable. Bridges to area beaches will be taken out of operation when the winds hit a certain strength. After that, you will be forced to shelter in place. And remember, even rescue personnel will take cover when conditions become too dangerous.
That's right.
They just won't go.
They're not
Yeah.
coming out to
Yeah.
rescue you.
Nope.
Yeah.
They can't do it. Well, anyway, not to be a creature of gloom and doom, but, better be prepared right now, just in case.
I'm scared already.
Well, don't get scared. Just
No,
get prepared.
kidding. Yes.
Oh, there's a good one for you. Don't get
Don't
scared. Get
be
prepared.
There you
Oh, I
go.
like it.
I like that.
Things were pretty wild at the Onslow County Learning Center yesterday.
Oh, yes.
My goodness. What was at first thought to be a military explosive device was found in weeds outside the building. The school was quickly evacuated and the students were taken to a nearby school for a period of time. An explosive ordnance disposal team from Camp Lejeune went to the scene and determined that the object was inert. That means it wasn't real. According to the school system, the EOD team said it was likely a Civil War reenactment cannonball and contained no explosives. Officials said the cannonball had been in place long enough that vegetation had grown around it to the point that it had to be cut away so the object could be removed. The cannonball was safely removed. No word on how it got there in the first place. The Learning Center is a school where kids who have disciplinary issues studies.
See, there you go for all the conspiracy theorists out there who are all already on social media about somebody putting a bomb out there.
Really?
Wait for the facts.
Oh, yeah.
Wait for the facts.
My goodness gracious. Back in December of last year, a deputy sheriff with the Onslow Sheriff's Office DWI special unit attempted to stop a vehicle running 77 in a 55. The offender was later identified as Andrew Michael Frazier. He was from Newbern. Frazier fled the deputy at speeds over 100 miles per hour, ran the stop sign at the intersection of Ramsey Road and Kellum Loop Road, collided with a vehicle driven by Lonell Jones of Jacksonville. Ms. Jones was killed on impact. Frazier fled the scene on foot after the wreck. Law enforcement attempted to locate him that evening, but he was not found until the next day by members of the Newbern Police Department. Frazier's driver's license had been revoked for previous impaired driving offenses. The state patrol conducted the crash investigation. Frazier was charged with involuntary manslaughter initially and numerous other criminal offenses. Earlier this week, Frazier was indicted by an Onslow County grand jury for second-degree murder.
Good.
He
Great.
remains in the Onslow County Detention Center, also known as the jail to some of us, under $1 million bond. In a news release, Sheriff Chris Thomas put it succinctly: had Mr. Frazier done the right thing and stopped for the deputy, Ms. Jones would still be here today.
That's right.
It's
That
true.
was a tragic,
Very sad.
tragic
She was
loss
going
of
to get
life.
groceries, I
Yep.
had read.
She'd
or
just
come
coming back from the grocery
Yeah, I knew it was
store.
about the groceries, yeah.
Still had the groceries in
So,
her vehicle.
you know,
It's sad.
folks, if the blue lights come on, don't put your foot down except on a brake.
Right.
Exactly.
You know, it's just going to get worse for you.
Yeah.
And look what can happen. And now this dude, I don't even know how old he is.
He's young. He
Yeah.
looks young
Yeah.
anyway.
But anyway, he's done.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
going to prison
Mhm.
if he's found guilty. But, you know, given the evidence that they've got, that's pretty much a slam dunk.
I agree with that. Yeah.
But chances are he will be making the best deal that he can, just to get a sentence as short as he can. Wait and
Oh,
see.
yeah.
The way it works. The way it works. We got some sad stuff to talk about. we've been following a friend of ours, a friend of the community. He's all of Onslow County, a diehard Republican, a strong conservative advocate, Alva Williams. She was hospitalized, 2 weeks ago now? They had found her cancer seemed to have returned.
Right.
Yeah.
And they found that, and they went in to do some checking. And so yesterday, they had her on a vent for a while, and a couple of days ago, they took her off at her request.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then yesterday, they were transporting her transported her to Newport for a hospice care facility.
Right.
And then about 6 o'clock last night, she passed away.
Yes.
Mhm.
So, condolences to the whole family. Most of them were on hand, if not all. I
Yeah.
wasn't sure totally, but one daughter and 3 sons, is it?
4 sons.
Four sons. Can't remember exactly. But anyway, she was a really strong advocate for all sorts of things. She worked tirelessly on the downtown Court Street reunion every year, the 3 years that
Yes.
we had it.
Yeah.
So we had that one, and she worked at it just as much as she could, and sold tickets, got prizes and other things to offer for sale. So heartfelt condolences go out to the entire family and to the community.
Yeah, she was Robin's campaign manager.
Mm-hmm.
Robin's adopted mom. He called her mama. She was family, and she was a hoot and a half.
Oh, she was a
She
hoot.
was. I had many a good time with her.
She's
Yeah.
a mess.
Yes.
She had a very colorful life. She did a
did.
lot.
She did. She
We'll
was-
be posting later on our
Jacksonville City
Facebook.
Council.
Yes,
yeah.
she was a
She
city
was.
council
Yep.
person.
2007 to 2009. And during that time, that's when she was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Yeah.
And on, let me see, going back down here. I mean, she appeared on May 21st, 2008, before U.S. Congress.
Yes,
She
I
did.
remember.
To talk about, and she was still recovering from breast cancer
Yes.
at the time. But they were introduced, HR 1157, the Breast Cancer and Environmental Research Act of 2007, and another bill, the HR 758, Breast Cancer Patient Protection Act of 2007. And there was many women who came to speak, and she was still, like I said, healing from her surgery. And she spoke, and we'll be putting a story on our Facebook page a little bit later today.
Mhm.
And there's the link there that you can click on and actually watch her testimony.
Good.
It was really heartwarming, and sad at the same time what these women went through.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's a disease we just can't seem to get our hands wrapped around.
Mhm.
It's one that's claimed a lot of lives in my family too.
Yeah, mine too.
So it's it's something that dreaded C word comes up, and it's like, oh my,
yeah,
we've come a long ways. Okay,
Yes.
we've come a long ways. It used to be that they said you got it, and then you go ahead and make your plans. But
well, she just celebrated her 80th
Yeah, I
birthday
know.
last
Mhm.
month.
Yeah.
So she was something else. She was a friend to everyone in Onslow County. If you've lived here, you've known her.
Oh yeah,
She
absolutely.
was just one of those that, and she loved talking to people.
And she was outspoken.
Oh yes,
I will give you that.
she'd make me laugh many of the time. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, well, she was. I don't want to say this in a bad way. She was set in her ways in her
Mhm.
convictions.
Oh, yeah.
She was not.
She was opinionated now.
Not
and
gonna
she let
sway
you
her.
know. No.
Not
you
wavering
knew.
at all.
But you knew where you stood with her
Uh-huh.
too.
Yep.
So she chewed Robin's butt out on more than one occasion. I just sat back and let it happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
But she loved people. She really did.
She
She
did.
was a very caring person. So
Got a great
she's-
family.
She was one of Onslow County's, and it's sad that she's gone.
Yeah.
May she
Larry's
rest in
gonna be-
peace.
We're gonna rally around Larry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talked to Larry the other day.
Yeah.
We're gonna rally around Larry.
Larry's her husband, and
Yes.
He's a fine person too.
I
I'll
love
tell you
I
that.
love some Larry now.
pretty devastated by
Yes,
this whole
he is
he
very
is.
much
event,
so.
too.
Yes.
Well, I was able to spend some time with both Miss Alva and Larry on day before
it
yesterday.
was the day before yesterday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I got to talk to her, sit down next to her bed and talk to her. But I think it helped Larry having people come in.
Oh, it did.
You know, it helped him a lot. But, you know, he's got some health issues right now that he's dealing with. And it's been really hard on him because they just celebrated their anniversary too in August. Trying to find out, I don't know if I put down what date it was, but yeah.
Well,
They've
usually
been married for quite a long time.
where there was one, there was the other.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Usually Larry was coming in right behind her.
Yeah. Okay. It was so funny because when we were talking about when she appeared before Congress and testifying, she said after she had gotten done standing there with a group of ladies, and she felt this tap on her back. And she said, "You're not going to believe when I turned around who it was." I said, "Well, who was it?" She said, "It was Hillary Clinton, but don't tell anybody."
Oh, my God.
And I said, "Well, it's okay, Miss Alpha." She goes, "Well," she said, "she just wanted to come up and tell me that she really appreciated my testimony." And she said, "But I didn't tell her I was a Republican."
Well, you said, I still ain't going to vote for you.
Yeah. But she said, "Don't tell anybody." She said she hugged me, and I said, "Well, I think that's nice."
Did you take a shower? I mean, I didn't mean that.
I took an acid
She's like,
and
"Don't
lye
tell
soap bath
anybody."
on that one. Get out the lye soap, Mom. I need to wash.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was nice to get the recognition that she got when she was there in Congress.
It
And,
is.
you know, I don't care who it is.
Well, she was very proud about doing that.
Sure.
She
Yes.
talked
She
a
should
lot
have been.
about that. She was. And she got to ride in on the Blue Angels or something. She talked about that. Robin would know, which
Yeah, I remember
something.
her
She talked
talking
a lot
that.
about that too. I mean, Alva's got a lot of stories. So
She does.
yeah,
She lived a colorful life.
she did.
Mo-
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Well, I've got what I think is a good story.
Okay.
The circumstances behind it, I do not think are good.
Mhm.
But we have a man from Holly Ridge, 29 years old, was just sentenced to 20 years in prison. And it's a good thing. Let me tell you why, Ray.
Well, I'm sure it's a good thing.
Avery Ray Brinson, he cut a witness'
Oh, yeah.
throat and stabbed a child.
Good.
And once he gets out, which who knows with our prison system how many years that'll be, he gets 5 years of supervised release for
Not enough.
possession of a firearm by a felon, possession of stolen firearm. So let me tell you what this guy did. May 30th, 2021, he stole a firearm from his friend's house. After the friend found the firearm missing, he checked his home video camera, which everybody has, and it showed this guy stealing the firearm. He confronted Brinson about it, and he denied it. And he's like, look, there's the video. Okay, and he says, okay, I did take it and gave it back to the guy. So at that time, the friend did not notify law enforcement. See, I would have done it anyway,
I
but
would've
that's
done
how
it.
that works. So then on June 1st, now 2 days later, he broke into the friend's house and he stole multiple items to include a different firearm. This time he cut the home security system, cut the power to the residence so it wouldn't record him stealing this. So after he stole the firearm, law enforcement was approached by a man who said Brinson ran into his house and stashed something under the master bed. Law enforcement went to resident and retrieved a .308 Savage rifle from the bed. The friend and victim of the breaking in confirmed it was his. So a female resident of that home where he put the gun gave a statement to authorities implicating him about the breaking, entering, and the firearm being found in her home. He went to this female's house on June 22nd, 2021, attacked her, slit her throat, and stabbed a kid, I'm assuming it was her son, 7 times for trying to protect her. Shockingly enough, the woman and the kid underwent immediate medical attention and survived. I mean, what this
20
guy
years
is like.
is not enough. y'all.
That's what
I
I'm
was
saying.
just
20
saying.
years is not
20
enough.
years is
This
not
guy
even
is
close
a
to enough.
danger.
It's definitely not enough. I mean,
So I hope that we will be alerted when he is out. Just the public. I mean, I don't think he's going to get nice in his 20 years in prison.
He
This
won't
guy's
be there
mean.
20 years. You got to understand that.
I know. I wish.
10 years
I
or
know.
less.
Oh, hold up. Let's see. Attorney
Oh, wait a minute now. Did they
I
go to
know.
federal court?
I
with
don't
this?
know. I'm looking. I didn't read that far till now. Michael Easy, U.S. Attorney for Eastern District, made the announcement after the sentence was concluded. U.S. District Judge presided. Oh, yes.
He's gone to federal court.
He'll do 20 years. Hallelujah.
And
Thank goodness for federal charges.
And he might be put in some really bad people that don't like things.
Send him to
like that.
Supermax. I mean, our people don't qualify to go there, but send him there where they get at him, like Thunderdome.
All right, let's take a quick break. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, Batman and Robin going to be in here. Tim Foster and Robin Knapp, and we'll be talking about all things that are county oriented, and including the storm that's out there. Because if anything happens, the county commissioners are the ones that generally will declare a state of emergency and then move forward and order evacuations. You're live and local, Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. We'll be right back.
Freedom 97.1 WSME with Jacksonville Cardinal High School football.
Be sure to tune to WSME Freedom 97.1 FM and worldwide WSME971.com tonight as the Cardinals of Jacksonville High School host the Patriots of West Carteret. Pre-game 6:30 with Jerry Allen and Bob Warlick bringing you the kickoff at 7 p.m., followed by the Golden Corral post-game report. Jacksonville High School football is made possible by the following fine sponsors: National Dodge, Chrysler Jeep Ram, Golden Corral, Modern Exterminating, Jacksonville Heating Contractors, CNS Paint, Bartley Insurance Services, Bill Mercer, JOEMC, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative, Bob Mills Mitsubishi, Coastal Bank and Trust, Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, Bradley's Jewelers, Lane Family Dentistry, and Southern Touch Painting and Maintenance.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Straight Talk Wireless now has the new iPhone 13 with cinematic mode, which lets you focus on what matters. And with Straight Talk, you can focus on getting the best deal. Our Silver Unlimited plan is just $45 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. And it runs on the largest, most dependable networks, now with nationwide 5G. With the iPhone 13 on Straight Talk, you can share whatever you want, wherever you want. Straight Talk Wireless. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Mills International Incorporated, your local Cub Cadet dealer, is ready for summer, and you should be too, with the Cub Cadet XT Enduro Series. These lawn tractors were engineered for strength, comfort, and versatility. Each machine features a strong deck with a variety of sizes available, designed to deliver a premium cut. An assortment of attachments and accessories, sold separately, allow you to use your mower for more than just cutting grass. Stop by Mills International Incorporated today and find out how the Cub Cadet XT Endurance Series is tailored to help unlock all the possibilities of your lawn. Head to your local Cub Cadet dealer, Mills International Incorporated, on South Queen Street, for exceptional offers, expert advice, and support.
A plan every adult family member should consider is the arranged funeral. It's the worry-saving thing to do for your family. Making pre-arrangements helps to alleviate the additional stress on family members that can come with arranging a loved one's funeral. Jones Funeral Home's prepaid funeral plan helps remove confusion. They make a practical evaluation of costs possible, and it's the best way to take an unpleasant task off the shoulders of the family. Call Jones Funeral Home at 55-1281.
With locations in Jacksonville, Richland, Swansboro, and Holly Ridge.
Hey race fans, New River All-American Speedway, 4744 Richlands Highway, Jacksonville's action attraction, presents Coastal Carolina's premier race, the Milan Carolina 125 Solid Rock Carriers Cars Tour, with late model stock cars, this Saturday, September the 9th. Also racing will be the NX Legends and Bandolero National Qualifiers, Bombers, and Champ Carts. There will be a meet and greet at 6 p.m. with flag drop at 7. Tickets start at $25. Kids 5 25 and under free. Celebrate NASCAR's 75th anniversary this Saturday, September 9th, with Coastal Carolina's premier race, the Milan Carolina 125 Solid Rock Carriers Cars Tour, featuring late model stock cars. For information, phone 910-708-0202 or visit newriverspeedway.com. Rain date Sunday, September 10th.
The Bar Restaurant and Bar in Swansboro is hiring. We're currently looking for experienced line cooks and expos. If you're hardworking, reliable, professional, and have a desire to always strive for better, we want to talk to you. The Bar is open 7 days a week. Stop by for an application. Our sister restaurant, Il Cigno Italiano, is also hiring line cooks, expos, and bartenders. Make great money and be a part of an outstanding, dedicated team. The Borough Restaurant on Front Street and Il Cigno Italiano on West Corbett Avenue, both in Swansboro.
When you need comforting, who do you call? An old friend, right? Jacksonville Heating Contractors services the heating and cooling needs of our area with dependable quality train systems, guaranteeing indoor comfort for your home or business. In addition to quality train systems, Jacksonville Heating Contractors offers 24-hour emergency service, NATE certified technicians, and over 50 years of experience and service you can trust. And with a Jacksonville Heating Contractor service agreement, you never pay retail for heating or cooling services and receive priority scheduling. Remember, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And in New Bern, you can call Trent Heating and Air Conditioning 252-633-2200. In Morehead City, Sea Air Heating and Cooling 252-247-1122. If you need service or repairs, just call an old friend. Jacksonville Heating Contractors, an independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. For deals on train systems and more, visit an old friend. Call 910-347-2843.
It's live on Freedom 97.1, 1128 WSME.
Well, I arrived at Tideline Marine yesterday, and the guys were out back with a brand new boat that just came in. You need to see this boat. Y'all, it's a new pontoon. Arrived at Tideline yesterday. It has an upper deck for sunbathing or just riding it there if that's what you want to do. And are you ready for this one? It has a sliding board off the stern, kind of like a water park, made by Aloha Boats, a company that's been building boats since the early 1960s. Not a fly-by-night group, I can tell you that. That's for sure. This Tri-Toon has room for big families or for a lot of your friends to just enjoy cruising in area waterways. You need to drop by and have George give you a look-see. Tideline Marine, 159 Old Bridge Street on the banks of the New River in downtown Jacksonville. This is one that you could wrap your hands around. I want to go check this. Yeah.
Okay, Kelly and I want to know first, is this an inflatable pontoon?
Yeah.
No, it's not
Okay,
inflatable.
then we're okay.
It's a tri-toon. It's got three tunes, and the middle tune is not like a lot of the tri-tunes. It's full length, and it operates like just a regular boat. You can maneuver just like a regular boat.
I might do that.
Offshore today, south winds out of the south around 10 knots, seas 2 to 3, dominant period 7 seconds, sounds and rivers a light chop. Tomorrow, southerly winds 5 to 10, seas 2 to 3, dominant period 7 seconds, decreasing to 4 seconds in the afternoon, sounds and rivers a light chop. Now, Sunday, right now, what they're calling for, without taking into account any impact or effects or advancements from Hurricane Lee, south winds 5 to 10, seas 2 to 3, sounds and rivers a light chop. Keep your eye on the storm. They may be changing that prediction before Sunday gets here. If it continues on its same course, Hurricane Lee will start producing big waves. And yes, they will travel hundreds of miles across the ocean. And pretty much a good part of the East Coast will be experiencing rip currents and strong waves. So be careful out there. Now,
all right.
Tonight's an important night.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Well, you should be good tonight. So, today it's going to be sunny, high of 89. Tonight is partly cloudy, low of 72. It does not appear to be any rain tonight, so we should be good for y'all's game. Tomorrow, though, things start to change a little bit. So it says partly sunny, high of 83, which is good. It won't be overly hot. It's going to feel a whole lot better than it has this week. However, we're now up to a 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Tomorrow night, the same, still 60% chance, otherwise partly cloudy, low of 70. Then on Sunday, we're at a 50% chance, otherwise mostly sunny, high of 85. Sunday night, it doesn't seem to be doing anything, which is odd. Partly cloudy, low of 71. And then Monday, sunny, high of 86. But once again, We will see.
All
That,
depending.
that could change.
All depending.
Yeah.
The storm is not going to be here even if it continues on its course. It won't be here Sunday or Monday or Tuesday.
I'm glad because I got to go to South Carolina to court.
Yeah.
So,
But anyway, if it comes, and there's a big if there. Even the National Hurricane Center says there is a chance because of a ridge between
there's a ridge brewing.
the coastline and that.
Mhm.
And it depends upon what that does as to what
If
will
that
happen
moves
with the
out
storm.
faster than
And-
what they predict,
Yep.
we're in trouble.
Yep.
I was hoping for a cold front to come through.
But it ain't gonna happen, dude.
No.
Sadly, I've been watching.
Me too.
It's not.
Real quick one before we get into our guest in here today is if Chicago's crime rate and corruption aren't enough, now illegal aliens are taking over O'Hare International Airport. Did you see that story? They're coming in huge numbers, and the Windy City has no place for them. Hundreds of migrants are at one of the nation's busiest airports. They're sleeping on makeshift cots on the floor in one section of the terminal, hidden from view behind black curtains. The airport is one of only 18 migrant shelters in Chicago. Homeless Americans are no longer allowed to stay at the airport as they were doing before the illegal influx. The city previously struggled with the influx of homeless people, but initiated a crackdown earlier this year. The current mayor, Brandon Johnson, is facing a lot of criticism, with some calling him the migrants mayor. There are 15 shelters for asylum seekers outside operating across the city, currently with another shelter expected to open next month on the south side. Now I'll put your mics back up. Yeah.
You just got muted.
They're acting out, Rayford. Everybody's about to go to a corner.
Oh, what kind of corner?
One go there, one there, one there.
Oh, you can send them to the corner?
Yes.
Well, the only one's really in trouble is one over there, and you sleep with. We
I know.
guess.
Well, she's come prepared for you today to adjust your attitude.
Yeah. We wouldn't expect
Robin Knapp
anything less.
and chairman of the board, Frank Sinatra.
Do it my way.
Tim Foster, how are you gentlemen doing today?
Very well. Very well. How are you doing this morning?
We're doing fine. So, big county business going on. You got the budget things for next year yet?
My headphones, I couldn't hear you.
I'm going to go ahead and jinx it. It was pretty quiet this last meeting.
Thanks, Lee. Thanks, Lee.
We may have to let you gentlemen share that microphone. That one has died.
Oh, no.
Well, maybe not. Let's go ahead and try it again.
Testing. There you go. Oh, there he goes.
You're kind of testing. Go ahead. Hello? Yes. Hello.
He's back.
He's back.
It was not a eventful week or
For the county
month for the
commissioners.
county commissioners. I will say that. Just it was a typical meeting, some rezonings, some public hearings on some rezonings, and had a few things with the health department and some ordinances that we removed that were old that the state has put in place, and we've just removed those. No need to repeat what's going on. So it was kind of not an exciting meeting, but one that has to take place to get those things taken care of.
Well, good.
Well, y'all actually did something good though.
She said that like it's
Well, I'm just saying.
One out of 10 ain't bad.
For the first
You
time
guys-
ever.
They increased funding for SROs,
Yes.
which is desperately needed in our school. Y'all did a good thing. I like it.
And they added two SRO sergeants, which one through the sheriff's office and one through Jacksonville Police Department, that are going to be sort of a liaison between the schools and the SROs, which I think that is extremely important because school principals and administrators are not into the law as far as you
Correct.
will be
Correct.
with law enforcement officers. Law enforcement officers are not into dealing with, now they've got training, but it's always a little bit different when you're in the school and working with some things. So I think that's important that they communicate and they work together. And I used to, before I retired, they'd call me over and I would speak to the SROs and I talked about you're a team. You have to work every day as a team and keep each other informed of what's going on. And principals and the SROs, they can't go and make a decision in a vacuum or work with something, not discuss it with each other, but they have to work together. And I think for the most part, the SROs and the administrators do that. And SROs do a great job of relating to the kids and building relationships. And I think that's probably the most important thing, is that all the elementary schools have an SRO. And I think that is good, because those kindergartners may not have had, or first graders may not have had an interaction with law enforcement yet. So their first interaction is on a school campus in a positive fashion.
I agree with that.
Instead of that first meeting of a law enforcement officer is when something happens between the parents and he shows up and the law ends up taking a parent away. That's never a good, it doesn't, regardless of right and wrong, when a 5-year-old, 6-year-old witnesses that, they do not have a positive perception of law enforcement.
I agree with that.
And they don't
Yeah.
have a positive perception either if they're confronted by law enforcement, because of peer pressure. If these guys get caught up in gangs or other just little
Yes.
units, or friends getting together and wanting to cut up. If they got a positive interaction to begin with, then they can understand that this is not something they should be doing.
Absolutely.
I think that would be a good part for the SROs to educate these kids at a very young age about
Yes.
gang activity. We have it in Onslow County.
Yes.
I don't care who says we don't. We do.
Yeah,
we
we
had a
do.
murder last year, first
Yes.
day of school, gang related, no doubt.
Unfortunately.
Yep. And we have that kind of activity here. Sorry.
That's
The signs are here.
It's there. And the larger we grow, the more that's going to
Mhm.
become an issue.
How do you are the SROs given time to actually meet kids and groups, or do they come into the classrooms at all?
They do step into the classrooms,
Okay.
and they do a real good job of walking the halls, talking to kids. We could probably do more stepping into classrooms or assemblies with small groups, discussing things and what's going on. I think that would be beneficial. And the schools have time in the day that they could do some of that. But it's good to watch, and I've been able to watch the Onslow County Sheriff's Department with their SROs, and then last year was able to watch the Jacksonville Police Department, and to see these men and women interacting with students is a very positive thing. And they know the kids, they know more than we know at times, and they're able to see things, spot things, and say, hey, you can see this is starting to, and you can step in, be preventative. Because not often are we preventative when it comes to law enforcement and things. We're always reactive.
Do they have locker searches now, just like a random routine, or do they even have lockers?
They don't use lockers anymore because mostly with 4 classes on high schools, they will use their book bags. And several of the high schools, well, 3 of the high schools have moved to the clear book bags. And it's been going off seamlessly. Where I'm at now, the kids have picked right up on it. It hasn't been an issue. And it's a good thing, because it creates that next step of security. You're always the criminal's always trying to be one step ahead of the law enforcement, and law enforcement is always trying to be a step ahead of the criminal. So it's a constant. You adapt to something, this changes, then you adapt and this changes, and that's the cycle. And you two have been in law enforcement, and you know that's. You stop something in one direction, it pops up over here, and you got to step in there.
They always said that area lights, like night lights around your house, like out here on the streets, they don't stop crime. They just move it from your place to someplace without that protection.
That's right. That's exactly
And that's
right.
about the way it works too.
And the thing I struggle with, and y'all may agree, is that we often, when something happens, we have to blame somebody. But I'm starting to see less and less blaming the person that's committed the crime, and blaming the person that wasn't there to stop it, or if they would have done this. And I've learned that 20/20 vision is hindsight. You can see great if you're able to look at it after it's happened and study the facts. Then obviously you're going to react differently, because you know what was coming or what had happened. But in the heat of the moment, you don't know how you'll handle something.
Yeah, that's like Monday morning quarterbacking.
Yes.
We have a
Yes.
quick caller here. Good morning. Who's this? Well, if I answer it, we'll have a quick caller. Who's this?
Hey, good morning, Rayford. How you doing?
Doing fine, Chris. What's up?
Welcome to your guest. Just want to take a little off what Tim was just saying. After that school board meeting, even yesterday, and Tim is right, hindsight's 2020, someone's going to have to get blamed except the criminal that's blamed. There was a posting by the sheriff department that about the break-in at one of the local schools at 4:20 in the morning.
Right.
And their comment was made that, oh, now anybody can just walk the halls of our school. But the criminal broke in at 4:20 a.m. There was no one else in the school. And that's why it's called breaking and entering, as Robin knows, breaking and entering. Rayford, you know, I took criminology. You were a law enforcement officer. Robin was law enforcement officer.
Refresh me. Did that person steal something?
They don't know. They had pictures. The sheriff's department put it out looking for people to recognize the person.
I saw that.
Send the information to the sheriff's department or Crime Stoppers, which I'm a member of. That's what people need to do. They don't need to start sensationalizing going, oh, so now our schools are not safe. 4:20 in the morning, as Tim was just saying, you know, we're focusing on blaming somebody else instead of the criminal.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's part of the, you know, what happened at the Board of Education meeting was the same thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of attacking on things that wasn't really focusing on the problem.
Yeah, just legally, let me explain the difference between breaking and entering and larceny. One is a misdemeanor. The other one's a felony. So if they stole anything as simple as a pocket comb, that becomes a felony. That's the difference. Or you can show the intent to steal. That will become a felony. So
yeah, and I was asked, well, did she get anything? I don't know. I'm not the criminal. Yeah, they're breaking the schools to get computers, maybe some money laying around or something like that. In the long run, law enforcement needs to be able to do their job. And I want to mention something Tim mentioned about the SROs in the schools and stuff, especially elementary. I visited every Omplo County school last year for the Crime Stopper fundraiser.
Oh, you were busy.
You cannot get into a school. It is those front doors are locked, and sometimes you can't get past the SRO to talk to a principal. They're doing a great job.
Excellent.
You know, I'm glad the commissioners approved more. I just want to, just say people need to not jump to conclusions and not turn the focus away from what it is, and that's gang violence and criminals.
Yep.
That's the problem.
All right, Chris, thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys.
You have a good one. Let's take a quick break. You're live and local Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME.
Are we ready for a little fun? Break these. I can't wait to meet you here this weekend. The weekly Top 40 Countdown is ready to go. Do we have some D's, please, for everybody? Oh, yeah. We're going to go out on a limb with the weekly Top 40 Sure Shot. You can win huge prizes.
I am amazed.
The weekly Top 40 Countdown here this weekend. We'll see you.
The Weekly Top 40 80s edition, Sunday night, 6 to 10 on Freedom 97.1. Coastal Bank and Trust thanks you for allowing us the privilege of handling all your banking needs, including personal and commercial loans to mortgage services. With locations in Jacksonville, Holly Ridge, Richlands, and Morehead City, Coastal Bank and Trust truly is a community bank dedicated to those we serve and is proud to be a part of the continued growth of Onslow, Carteret, and surrounding counties, and looks forward to meeting you. Thank you for voting us the best of the best 5 years in a row. FDIC insured and an equal housing lender. Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry, where we love to make you smile. Now proud to be working with Drs. Kim and Tommy Morgan, formerly Morgan Family Dentistry. The Jacksonville and Richlands Morgan offices of Lane & Associates Family Dentistry blends the latest technology with personal care and attention, so you have an amazing dental experience. The offices of Lane and Associates welcome all ages and accepts all major insurances, including military. Lane and Associates Family Dentistry has been serving the state of North Carolina for over 40 years, with 2 locations in Jacksonville, Richlands, and Maysville. Call for an appointment today at 877-LANE-DDS or online at lanedds.com. Welcome to Lane and Associates Family Dentistry.
If you love ocean pier fishing, the Seaview Pier Motel and Restaurant located at mile marker 18, North Topsail Beach is the place for you. The Seaview Pier is a family pier complete with bait and tackle shop, rod and reel rentals, and accessories. The restaurant serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner and features a complete menu from burgers to ocean fresh seafood, straight to you from the briny blue. With the Seaview Motel right next door and the most affordable rates on the coast, you can make it a vacation or a weekend of Carolina pier fishing. It's all here, including the fish. The Seaview Pier Motel and Restaurant, mile marker 18, North Topsail Beach, across the bridge, just south from Seas Ferry. To find out what's biting or for motel reservations, call anytime, 910-328-3172.
Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, your trusted local carrier indoor weather team, serving all of your heating and air conditioning needs since 1967. Now offers residential and commercial duct and dryer vent cleaning, and now offers expert residential and commercial plumbing service. In case of a power outage due to a storm or for any other reason, be prepared with a Generac generator for your home or business. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning has Generac generators in stock, ready to install today. Remember, better breathing comes with cleaner air. Let Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning improve the air quality in your home or business with professional air duct cleaning. As always, Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning is available 24/7 for all your heating, cooling, and plumbing emergency needs. Turn to the carrier experts, Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, with locations in Jacksonville and Hampstead. Visit online, humphreyheating.com, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning since 1967. Relax, we're on the way.
It's live and local. Real talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
And we're back, and our guest in the studio this morning, along with our kind of a regular appearance gentleman in here, good old Timmy, Timmy Lynn Foster.
Jackass kid, no, whatever.
Did I call you Timmy Lynn Foster? You heard that, didn't you?
Yeah, I heard.
I just wanted to pay attention.
Timmy Lynn Foster. He wishes he was kin to me. I'm gonna tell you something. If you
Jackass kid.
Jackass kid.
I like that. That's gonna stick, Jackass kid.
Yeah, that's what older people call me, but you can't because I'm 28 days older than you are.
What month were you born?
December.
December
That mean you
what?
had it the 1st. And you're what, 29?
Yeah.
Now, see, I remember stuff like that. You don't.
Well, I'm sure of these.
I mean,
so
we
I can say what I
became
want.
friends.
Jackass
And
kid.
well, we became friends and all that stuff, and all of a sudden you can't remember my birthday, and I remembered yours.
But I will remember your nickname,
You got too
Jackass
much
kid.
real cream in your hair. That's what it is.
Oh. At least I got some hair, buddy.
Well, that's it. Well, we're a family show, but I tell you about that no hair deal.
I know what you're going to tell me, and that's a myth.
No, it's fact.
I'm gonna need both y'all to knock this mess off right now.
Wait a minute. I might have to get around there for G. Robin.
Robin,
We got to pick
Vice Chair of the County Commissioners. What are you seeing now? There seems to be a lot of county commissioners are in charge of the school board. We don't blame the county commissioners for things that the school board may or may not be responsible for.
Why not? It's the norm. Just blame us.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. Okay, I watched, and this is a sore topic with me because we get the same people that come up and complain about this or that and putting the blame here or there. Let me make something very perfectly clear. The Board of Commissioners does not control the Board of Education. We don't have anything to do with the Board of Education or what their focus and what their objectives are. Okay, period. They don't report to us. We don't report to them. We interact when it comes to a budget formula for school funding and things of that nature. That's it. We do not stand above them or below them. We are equal with them. They are an elected body. They're in charge of the responsibility of the school. But there's a lot of stuff that's going on that I've been kind of keeping my mouth shut because I don't want to say anything about how the board acts, the Board of Education compared to the Board of Commissioners. That's on them. And, they just need to realize they need to stay focused on their objectives and quit grandstanding during a meeting about this or that. And I'm going to say, quit grandstanding. You know, don't, you know,
We don't want to talk about it, but let's.
Look, if you're going to be honest about something, if you're going to say what you want to say about a particular issue and objective and be passionate about it, that's one thing. But when you're up there grandstanding for, and yeah, I said it, grandstanding for the public for whatever reason, okay, you come across as a hypocrite. And plain and simple. And that's the thing that bothers me, because I sit there and I'm not mentioning any names. I don't need to. You can go to their website. You can go to our website. You can look at the meetings. You can listen to the meetings. You can decide for yourself. But one of the things I think that the Board of Commissioners, we disagree. I disagree with Tim. I disagree with Walter Scott. I disagree with Lisa Carpenter, Paul Buchanan. I disagree with Royce Bennett and Mark Price on issues. We vote differently, but then again, we vote together. There's some things that we agree on, okay? Whatever happens, whatever decision that you're passionate about and you happen to be voted against, it's over with. The board as a collective has made a decision as one. That's how we're supposed to act, as one unit or one entity. So if we vote 4-3 and something goes in favor of something that you didn't want, the vote's over.
Yeah.
Quit talking about it. Now we have to do, as a board collectively, move forward in the right direction to see
and make it work.
And make it work. You know, whether we agree or disagree, to continuously harp on something over and over and over again, and then to get up there and talk about it on the dais is grandstanding. Like, you know, you're not supposed to promote yourself on that board, whether it's a Board of Education or Board of Commissioners. Okay, now, the number one charge for the Board of Education is the children of this county. The number one charge of the Board of Commissioners are the citizens of this county. We have two separate functions, and our function is geared towards all of the citizens. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, a Republican, an independent, LGBTQ. It doesn't really matter. Every citizen within these confines of our county limits, they come under our charge in terms of we need to show them the proper respect and represent everybody. It doesn't matter what your political or religious beliefs. We were elected to serve you. And then to get into open disagreements. If we agree to disagree, and that's part of the frustration that I see right now going on with some of the politically elected people in here or appointed that are bickering over nothing. You know, you're making a mountain out of a molehill as far as I'm concerned. You know, serve the objective, press forward, and move forward. You know, you can't go into any situation with a cracked board, with an undecisive board. You know, whether you agree or disagree. Again, it goes back to what I said. If you vote on an issue, now collectively as a board, you have to move forward together and put your differences aside and go with the majority of what you voted for. And that's pretty simple to me. I've throughout my career as a commissioner, I have said some things on the dais that people didn't agree with, and I got outvoted. There are things that I've said that I pushed forward that people agreed with and got voted. But you never once heard me sit back with something that I didn't agree with, move forward. You didn't hear me complain. I forgot about it. You know, I'll give you an example. The pool.
Mm-hmm.
I voted against the pool. I tried to get that removed from the agenda. My board overruled me 4-3. Now, am I going to go in my little corner and cry my diaper and just, you know, throw a hissy fit? No. My board, my chairman, they voted a certain way. It's over with. Just like Heinz Farm, we voted a certain way. It's over with. Now we work collectively as a board to make it happen. As far as the pool is concerned, I disagree with it. But now we have to do what we have to do as a board to make it work so it doesn't hurt the county. Plain and simple.
So if you stand as an obstacle to what's going on, then you're just going to be.
That's right.
Well, if you're gonna complain and you're gonna look for fault all the time within your own board, okay? Because we really try not to do that. We try to overlook things and we try to press forward. But when you try to look at things that are at fault within your own board and then come publicly and try to use that for a grandstanding tactic, I've lost all respect for you.
Gotcha.
Period. I don't want you even to talk to me about that, because that is not an intellectual, a political thing to do.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back here live and local, Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
Modern Exterminating 627 College Street, Jacksonville has proudly been serving the pest control needs of Onslow and surrounding counties since 1952. That's 70 years of protecting the health and property of our citizens from rodents, termites, mosquitoes, and all other pests. Modern Exterminating offers inspection without obligation. Being authorized to serve government quarters, Modern Exterminating takes this opportunity to thank those who serve and allowing us to handle all your pest control needs. If what they use don't zap them, they'll trap them. And if you're not satisfied, they'll step on them. The bug stops here. Modern Exterminating, family owned and operated since 1952. Call today, 910-455-5122. That's 910-455-5122 for Modern Exterminating.
Have you gotten your copy of Topsail Times newspaper this week? If not, did you know that Topsail Times is Topsail area's only local newspaper in print? Started a little over a year ago, we now have over 1,500 online subscribers and 5,000 printed copies that go out every 2 weeks. And we never charge our readers. Information should be free to our readers, and we stick by that. Looking for an idea for date night? Want to learn some local history? How about asking a veterinarian about your pet? These things and more are available in each copy of the Topsail Times newspaper. Want to get the word out about your business? We offer great rates for full color ads, and the online paper version is always included for free. Need help designing the perfect ad? We can do that too. We're always looking for human interest stories, so start writing. And we love local photos too. Check out our website at topsailtimes.net, where you can find out where to pick up a copy or check out our latest publication online.
Attention property owners, are you fed up with bad tenants, under market rents, and late payments? At Fountain Management, we provide unrivaled levels of expertise and all the tools and services you need to make owning a rental property easy and profitable. Are you ready to talk about taking the management of your real estate investment to the next level? Well, contact us today. Fountain Management, 910-455-1609. We will make owning your rental property simple and rewarding.
Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing specializes in residential and commercial interior and exterior painting. In fact, they paint most anything except cars, including homes, businesses, apartment complexes, decks, and they do minor repairs, wood repairs, pressure washing, waterproofing, and more, including storm repair and cleanup. Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing, fully licensed, insured, and locally owned and operated by Roger Carroll Jr. References available and customer satisfaction is always guaranteed. So if you want it painted, maintained, power washed, or need a new roof, call Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, and Power Washing at 910-939-0749 or visit southerntouchpaintingnc.com. Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing salutes our troops and is proud to be part of the continued growth of Onslow and surrounding counties.
It's not for everyone, only for you. The medication your doctor prescribes is exclusively yours to take as directed. Nobody else should be taking it. It's up to you to keep your medication secure and to safely dispose of any unused medications. Don't let anyone take what's yours. Your prescription, your responsibility. Be aware, don't share. Lock your meds.
Supported by MSC DHHS, Division of Mental Health, Developmental Disabilities, and Substance Abuse Services. Visit lockyourmeds.org/NC.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
It's live and local real talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
And welcome back here. I got a couple minutes before the next quick break, but then we got some time on the other side of that as well. Tim, you started to have something to say there.
I was going to go back and piggyback a little bit on what Robin was saying is, you make decisions as a board, and once that decision is made, if you're true to the board's activities, then you begin to work as a team on that decision that's made by the board. Well, it's a majority of the board, so therefore the board has made the decision. Now, life is a lot easier when it's unanimous, but you don't want a board that's unanimous. You want everyone to come to the meetings with opinions and viewpoints and be able to discuss those publicly in a very respectful manner, and then have your vote. And regardless of how the vote moves, what that board decides, you go out to make sure that you are successful in that decision. I would never, if Robin and I voted different ways on something, I don't go home and start planning how can I ruin Robin because of his decision he made this board tonight. I need to make sure when I wake up tomorrow morning that I am helping make that majority decision successful. I never want to wake up and go, what can I do to derail what this board is trying to do?
And that's a key point right there.
Yep.
He said it Tim and I, we talk every day just about, and we stay in touch. There are issues that we disagree with. He has different perspectives that he brings to me, and I have my perspective as to why I voted this way or why I feel about it. We discuss it, and then we agree to disagree. We vote our way, and that's it. He goes out to his golf game, and I go to work, and we'll discuss it later. But here's the thing, and what he said is correct. You vote for something. Yeah, it would be great to have a unanimous decision or the vast majority of a particular issue, but that's not going to happen. We all have different opinions. We have different ideas about how things should be approached. It doesn't matter. Whatever decision is made, then you move forward as a board. But it's when a decision is made and then you sit there and continue to bring something up in a board meeting.
You let it fester.
You let it fester, and then you say some things on the dais going after other board members. I'm not necessarily saying it's happening to our board of commissioners because I don't believe it is. I'm going with this, and you need to stop. You really do. And I've witnessed this lately in several boards, and not only is it dysfunctional, it's demotivating, it's upsetting, and quite honestly, it's unprofessional. If you can't agree with your board in a certain direction, then the first thing I would do, if you're so passionate about something, offer your resignation. Step down. If you can't work with the board, step down. If you decide to stay on the board, even though you voted a different way, then you work to help that board as a team, as Tim said. If you can't do that, it's just like any other sport. Baseball, football, there's the hallway or there's the walkway. You can walk off the field.
I have a very important question that was just submitted by a listener for Tim Foster. And I'm going to jump right in on this one. Do you consider yourself a North Side Monarch now or a Southwest Stallion? You can't have it both ways.
He's a Stella Mark.
Stella Mark?
Well,
Style side.
my blood runs deep in orange and black, and
Call him a mute.
but
Cross between one and the other.
that's too
Hey,
funny.
he came to visit me with his Monarch shirt.
That's a tough question there.
I like it.
I pulled for my Stallions on Friday night, and fortunately, the Monarchs and the Stallions don't play each other. But I tell you, I love my my time over at Northside. The kids there, great kids. I just enjoy talking to them and helping them, make decisions or lead them in directions that's conducive to their success. And the question I always ask if I haven't met the kid yet is find out, well, what grade are you in? If they return with, I'm a senior this year, my next question is always, what's your plan after graduation?
Mm-hmm.
And regardless of what their plan is, you then talk about what are the wonderful things that plan is going to be. A young lady the other day, she said, I'm joining the Air Force. And I said, that's great.
Smart
you get
lady.
in there and you work hard at it. That's going to be a great career serving your country. You're going to, do wonderful things. And another kid is, well, I'm going to go to Coastal and get my 2-year associate's degree. Well, there again, that's another great decision because when you finish that up, there's some of the North Carolina schools, because you've got that associate's degree, will automatically accept you. Or the next one is, I'm going to UNCW. I want to go to nursing school. Well, again, what a great decision. And even if they decide they want to go into the workforce, they're making decisions. And some of them will look at you and go, Ms. Foster, I don't know yet. I said, don't worry about it. You don't have to make that decision yet, but you need to start thinking about what's taking place. And I'm one of those that if you want to know if a school's accountability, find out where those kids are 5 years after graduation.
Yeah.
Then you know what the schools are doing and everything. And there's a lot of kids that are doing great things when you find them 4 or 5 years after graduation. I love to talk about Dakota Marshall. He graduated from Southwest. He went to East Carolina to play football his junior year. He had a major break in his leg. Man worked his butt off, got back out on the field, graduated from East Carolina. He tried to pursue the football career. He played arena. He played in Canada. He tried out for some NFL teams, and he was cut the last time. And he had a great conversation with some people that mean the world to him in his life, with particular his dad, who also graduated from Southwest. And he said, Dad, I've been chasing the dream. It's time to move on. Folks, Dakota Marshall owns First and Goal Hauling out of Charlotte. And let me tell you something. The man is very successful, a wife, two beautiful kids, and he is thinking about the future for his kids and doing something. He's building something for them. And that's where the success comes in. That's the success of what his parents did in his life. That's the success of what his teachers did and others that are in his life, because he'll tell you the different people that played a role in his life. And he hasn't forgotten those folks. He's a tremendous young man and someone that I plan on bringing back to speak to the kids at Northside, and especially since I'm coaching basketball there. You hear that?
Is my mic on?
Turn his mic off.
I know where this is going, and I just
Tim
don't wanna hear
said all
this.
that. It was very eloquent. I loved it. And
Just don't want to hear this.
but you still didn't give us an answer. you gave me a bunch of. I mean, I appreciate.
I'm a
Stellamar.
stallion and a monarch.
So you're Stellamar.
I guess so. I guess so.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back because I've got something to say about that too when we get back there. Yeah, buddy. You're live and local, Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME.
WSME, Camp Lejeune, W246 CJ, Jacksonville.
Fox News, I'm Gianna Gelosi. President Biden is going to land in India for the G20 summit later this morning. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is already there.
We're committed to supporting emerging markets in developing countries.
This while a new CNN poll has the president's treading water with 39% approval rating. 2/3 of all Democrats in that poll say they want an alternative option on the ballot. And former President Donald Trump is holding a rally in South Dakota today. He's expected to be endorsed by Governor Christine Noem. His former advisor, Peter Navarro, was convicted of 2 counts of contempt of Congress for defying a House subpoena regarding January 6th. Navarro reacting.
I am not here convicted because of contempt of Congress. I'm here because of association with J6. That's just wrong.
Navarro says he plans to appeal. America is listening to Fox News.
Freedom 97.1.
WSME.
It's live and local. Real Talk.
And we're back, and I got a little quick story there, Tim, for you. You might like it. Coach Andy Hewlett, Jacksonville High football coach back in the 60s. And that was, he was a good coach. And he was a good PE teacher because I had him for PE as well. And in one of the PE classes, he said one day, because we had just decided somehow we got not in the same conference as New Hanover High, which was going to be a problem, we thought. But anyway, somebody in the class said, well, we know that you played for New Hanover High and then you ended up coaching there. Now you're here. Now you're coaching a team that's going against them. What side are you on? He said, are you crazy? I'm on the side of the team that I'm coaching right now.
That's right.
If I wouldn't, I'd be letting all these other people down.
That's exactly right.
So that's the way he responded to that one.
I believe we do have Southwest on the schedule for basketball. So absolutely, I'll take my Monarchs into there, and our goal is to win that game.
Yep, that's the way it's supposed to be done.
It'll be fun. It'll be exciting. It'll be fun, but you bring a perspective of that I tell people, kids are kids everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And our job is to help them become good quality citizens, to make good decisions and be productive part of society.
Yeah. What do you guys see happening in the near future on the county agendas? Anything major out there?
We're going to make the transition here about the first or second week of October with a new interim county manager coming in.
Uh-huh.
That's David Smitherman. He'll be coming in. I think it's around the 5th of October.
I think he starts. It's the 4th.
4th of October. He'll come in, and he was here before. He was an interim for about 13 months or 18 months. I can't remember. And then we're in the process of searching for a county manager, and we're doing that through the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners. They are helping us go out and hunt for that individual that wants to come to Onslow County. And the important thing is we need someone with great experience.
Yes.
Someone that knows a coastal community with a large military presence and everything else that's going on. That Onslow County we want them to know a county like ours, which may be difficult because we're a great farming community. We're a great fishing community. We're a great military community. we are a community that is very unique with what we have, and they need to know how to handle major storms when they come in, because we're not when or if, but when are we going to have another one? It's going to happen. We just hope it's a long time from now and very weak.
Let me piggyback on that real quick. Just to quell some of these people that have made comments, and why don't we pick a permanent county manager right now? Well, we're not going to pick a permanent county manager right now because we need somebody to fill in thus the name, in the interim time frame during this transition period. And you call it what you want, but call it the tryout period, so to speak. It's like going to open tryouts on any baseball field or football field, and people ask, well, did Sharon have an open tryout? Yeah, she did for 2 years. She was an assistant county manager.
Yes.
So she did more than have an open tryout. But the person that we're getting Smitherman he's got some big shoes to fill. And now I've been warned, I shouldn't say that, I'm always, praising Sharon, praising the government, because I praise what I appreciate from our people and our directors. And I appreciate the job that Sharon's done. And people don't understand what she has done for this county. And she got to the point where she felt it was better for her to move on for whatever reason. And I'm not going to get into them because of personal reasons with her and some other reasons. But we're losing one of the best county managers we've ever had in Onslow County. She cares. And I'm going to keep tooting her horn, because I don't really care what anybody says about me tooting her horn, because I recognize excellence when I see it, and she's proven herself time and time again. And there's no question about her loyalty and dedication. When you go through Florence and you watch your home get washed into the sea, and you're still in the EOC trying to help the citizens of Onslow County when all your belongings are gone. Okay, well, that just speaks volumes of somebody's character. That's the kind of person she is. And I wish her well in her next endeavor. I'm not going to talk about her next endeavor. That's personal for her. But she's going to be successful, and she's going to be missed.
She's coming on here as a co-host. Did you know that?
Well, I'll tell you what, if she comes in as a co-host, you've got your hands full, because she's very objective. I'm going to leave my comments to myself. It'll be very interesting if she does, because it would be interesting to see what comes out of her mouth. But she's a fantastic person.
She's a very nice woman.
And she's
very
done
smart.
She's done a fantastic job. And
I agree.
And those that are looking at applying for the county manager job in Onslow County, this job, and I would love to know that there's applicants out there listening to local radio to hear more about Onslow County. Do they really want to come here or not? Well, if I had a 10, 12 years experience as a county manager and I saw the position in Onslow County pop up, first thing I would do is I'd go look at their budgets. I look at their audits. I look at what's going on. And by the time they finish looking at our audits and our financial situation and the things that are going on in our county, it wouldn't take long for me to get that application in, because this is a crown jewel in the state of North Carolina.
It is.
We are in the best financial shape we have ever been in. Our fund balance is fantastic. We are in great shape. And a lot of times county managers are coming into positions that things are not good.
And that's the reason
usually
they're
what
coming
creates
in.
it. That's the reason they're coming in. So whoever's coming into this, it's almost like
you're giving them a
I'm
Christmas
handing
present.
over the basketball position with 4 or 5 starters returning off a state championship game, and I'm coming in with that, and I'm expected to do well. And then that's Onslow County. So there's someone out there just looking at this going, this is my dream job. This is where I want to go. And you can look at our board's decisions. When people say we always vote the same way, I want you to go back and look at those votes and see how sometimes it was 4-3. It was this set of 4 commissioners. Yeah. And then the next was a 4-3. It was a different set of 4 commissioners. Clicks. And it's interesting to watch that happen. So if the future county manager's listening, dust off that resume, because this is a great opportunity for you.
The thing that bothers me about this, early on, in the last 2 years, people started questioning the salary of the county manager. Okay, openly questioning the salary of the county manager. She gets paid too much. She doesn't get paid enough, to be honest with you. The responsibility that she has to deal with 27 directors, all the issues within this county, the budget, and doing as well as she can.
7 commissioners,
and having to put up with you guys.
Well, and there's the other thing. You got 7 commissioners. You got a county manager that's been hired by a particular board. Then an election cycle comes up. That county commissioner or that county or attorney is worried about who the next 4 are going to be elected. Are they going to turn around and remove these people. That happened to our incoming county manager. He was doing fantastically well, but there were several people that they got elected and wanted to be removed. And you know what? The thing I loved about him, he was upfront about that. He told us that right up front. And the man is he's a good man based on the interview, based on the questions we asked him. I really loved the way he answered his questions. He was very upfront. And one of the things that he said, you know, one of the questions that I asked him was, and I can't say this, correct?
You
Maybe already you should. If you gotta ask that-
if we're not sure, we probably shouldn't.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Then don't say that. Let's just
But
change
the thing is, I think the new interim county manager is going to be a fantastic choice. He's got some big shoes to fill, and we'll see where it goes.
Well, I have a question. How is Burton Park coming along?
Burton who? I'm just kidding.
Well, we do have Trask Land Development is moving right along with doing the things that they plan on doing that front half. And I think once that opens up, I think that's going to bring more business in there. And the section that we're talking about, I think, is going to become a lot more commercialized in there, and it should be. I think with what he's planning on putting up in the front part, that's going to bring other business in there.
Have they started building yet?
They have not. They have not.
Because I know they had a lot of permits and a lot of issues that they had to take care of.
Still
first.
working through.
Yeah, they're working through that, but
I thought, we've got to get that land sold and people doing business on it, because then it becomes it starts bringing in money for the county instead of just sitting there and us having to mow the grass or.
I think
or
once
take
you
care of
start
whatever.
building, it'll take off.
I think so too. I'll go back to Field of Dreams.
Yes.
If we'll start building, they will come. And you look around Onslow County, whenever something goes up, it just begins to flourish.
Well, look at what that company's done in Wilmington.
Oh my gosh.
It has
It was huge.
Well, I have a question for y'all. So at the meeting the other day, there was a little bit of a brouhaha, is the word I'm going to use, over a park and some equipment being replaced. And I noticed in comments on the county government Facebook page that streams the meeting live, a couple of people were questioning why this initial replacement wasn't put in the budget. But is this stuff, I mean, first of all, you don't know when stuff's going to go bad,
Right.
correct? Like, and is this one of those cases where we didn't know there was a problem and then all of a sudden there is, and it was unanticipated?
That's right.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, the parks, they prioritized what they needed to take care of. And they started, they felt like Hubert Park was in more need for the repairs that needed to take place there.
Right.
They did not anticipate the quick need that appeared. There was use and things going on there at
Right.
Deppy, but it got worse than what they anticipated. They had to close the playground.
Right.
So then it shifts.
Mhm.
And instead of going, okay, we're not going to take care of the Hubert Park problem, and we're going to fix this one and let this one fester.
Yeah.
They had a good idea of coming in, is that we're still going to be able to take care of the Hubert Park and then do this over here to take care of the Deppy Park. And then that's part of doing,
Well, that's how you should do
business.
it.
And,
Yeah. Okay.
And parks are not, well, we know sitting here, parks are not intended to be money makers. Parks are intended to be recreation and quality of life for your community.
Provides a service.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then that's what people look at too, is I don't want to move into an area and there's no parks, or there's a rundown park. And we've got parks all, there's Deppy Park, Steed Park, Stump Sound Park, Onslow Pines Park. Then you have the Hubert Park, and then you have Hines Farm. The people, there's a lot of great opportunity to come in there. We've added a hiking trail out at Hines Farm. There's great opportunity, but not everyone wants to go to a park to play basketball, softball, or baseball. They
No.
want to go and do other things. And I feel like our Parks and Rec director, Katie White, she's done a fabulous job of really growing that Parks and Rec. And I had the meeting. At the end, I asked anybody that was a director or supervisor to stand up, and we applauded them, because their jobs are not easy, because they all have needs. And we don't have the tree of money in the backyard. So they have to work hard with what they have in hopes that down the road they'll be able to get some of the funding that they need. And that's something I experienced as a high school principal. I had a few capital needs on my campus. I had to determine which was the most important need, and that's the one that I put on my capital request. Now, going into it, I knew that I may or may not get that. And if I didn't get it, guess what was back on that capital needs request the next year?
Yeah.
The same item. And within a few years, my request is going to move up the ladder and it's going to be taken care of. And by the time that one's taken care of, I've got the next one in line ready to go to get it on the front burner and get that taken care of. And that's what these departments do, is they submit what's going on, and our county manager and her staff have to really look at it and prioritize that and make those decisions. If we had all the money in the world we needed, then the job of the county manager, the job of the directors, the job of your county commissioners would be extremely easy. But when you have that many departments in a county this size, a coastal county, there's always a need. And I think Onslow County, I've been here all my life. And I remember when Onslow Pines Park opened up in 76.
Yep.
I was a 7-year-old kid, and I remember that. But now look what we've added. You know, you look at the growth of this county, where growth is great, but growth also brings in things that you didn't have before. Your crime goes up. You need more deputies. You have more people. There's more fires. You need larger volunteer fire departments and fire services. There's more people. We are a very young community, but we also have our elderly that there's more. So EMS is going to take more phone calls. Your 911 dispatch has got to grow. And it's stuff that has to take place. And we're projected to pick up a lot more people over the next 10 years, which is going to increase our need in schools, law enforcement, EMS, our fire services. All those things are going to grow, but our base of people is going to grow as well. So this county, I tell you, people are looking at Onslow County and they're going, that's where I want to be. If we were in a bad position, if we were not a wonderful county, growth would not be an issue for us, because it's not just the active duty military that's being moved to Onslow County. It's the active duty that's becoming retired that are staying in Onslow County.
Or leaving, then come back.
They're leaving and coming back.
My new neighbors across
Absolutely.
the street.
They're stationed here, and then they said, you know what, when I retire, I'm coming back to Onslow County. So as long as we wake up in the morning and we try and find something negative about Onslow County, everybody needs to understand, if all that said negative about this county and what's going on was true, growth wouldn't be an issue.
We got people coming in. We got keep, even in my business, I meet them every day.
Yep.
I think, where are you from? And they tell me I'm from New Jersey, I'm from Long Island, or I'm from Tennessee or whatever. And I said, oh, you're about the military project here? I said, no. So a couple of people have said, they just said they wanted to go someplace cheaper that they heard was a great place to live. And they put their finger on the map, pointed to Onslow County. They came here one weekend, fell in love, bought a house, and stayed.
Yep.
Just look what's happening between Wilmington and Holly Ridge.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
You knew when you hit the city limits of Wilmington, you knew you were in Wilmington. Now,
you're in Hampstead.
There's times I get there and I'm like, I'm just in Porter's Neck. I hadn't made it to Wilmington
That's right.
yet. And now it's moving. Now I'm just in Hampstead now. Holly Ridge
It's growing.
has become the second most populated municipality in Onslow
You can
County.
see it in Hampstead.
And it's still growing.
20 minutes in traffic yesterday.
Yes, it was. It sure was.
20 minutes in traffic
The
at Hampstead.
traffic jam on 17 starts at 6:30. I've been out there at 5 o'clock and watched it in the morning. I mean, they're moving
Yeah, there are
equipment,
people-
and I've seen it. They start lining up, and by 6:30 from Holly Ridge all the way into Hampstead.
It's unreal.
I went to Wilmington
Where are you
yesterday.
going? You know,
I went to-
and it's all day.
I went to Wilmington yesterday about 8:15 in the morning. I've never seen more construction cars and cargo haulers going down 17 towards Hampstead.
Wednesday, I went to Wilmington, and I had an 11 o'clock appointment at Monkey Junction. But between here and there, I lost count of the number of FedEx trucks that's coming our way.
Yeah.
I have never seen it look like a
Thank you,
convoy.
Kelly, for
There
starting
were
that.
probably, I know that I counted 25, and I didn't even come close.
Right.
Kelly's the
unreal.
queen of the package people.
Oh, my
She
goodness.
started that. And my wife jumped in on it. Thank you.
Well, we also
I look at my Ring doorbell and I get a phone call from Kelly because I work 3 minutes away. And she called me up when I haven't looked at the Ring doorbell. I said, can you do me a favor? I said, what? She goes, can you go home? I said, why? I said, there's 5 packages on there. I don't want to get stolen. Can you go let them in? So I'll leave. I'll go do it. I'll call her and I tell her I did it. The next day, hey, can you do me another favor? I said, what? I said, I got 3 packages again.
Yeah.
They're on every
Kelly,
single day.
I've got a suggestion for you. Why don't you give the FedEx driver a key to your house and tell him to just put them inside?
Well, Amazon has that service.
Why don't you build a nice little house in front of your yard and just slide the packages in there? I've seen that.
Why don't you guys stop? Why don't you guys stop feeding ideas into her
Yeah,
head?
but you're not. You're toting lumber. You're toting lumber. You're not toting rock with a one-wheel wheelbarrow.
You need to leave that wheelbarrow alone.
Okay, that is true.
I'm gonna
You know,
rag
you
you.
just have but I'm going to tell you something, Tim.
to your
I'm going to
office.
tell you something. When she came out,
Yeah,
I
but
had,
sometimes they
first
come-
of all, I saw all this
Yeah,
gravel on the side of my
She's got a
house.
slack.
I saw all this gravel in the trailer
like
that
that.
Rayford had dumped there, and I'm thinking, who's going to move that stuff? So she
Yeah.
comes out. She goes, well, I got a wheelbarrow. I said, great. And so I didn't say anything at the time. So when she showed me the wheelbarrow, I just kind of stared at it for a second because I noticed one wheel on that wheelbarrow. And I looked at the wheelbarrow and I looked at the rocks. I said, I'm thinking to myself, well, this is going to be tough.
Uh-huh.
And I remember her saying in the garage, she goes, you okay? I said, yeah, let's do this. Let's get this, try to
I get it. Well, if you wanted a different wheelbarrow, you should have went and bought one.
Oh, me.
Then he would have to use it.
Yeah.
Oh my, isn't it weather time?
One thing, get a little bit serious here, guys. We lost a
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Miss Alva Williams, I first met her in 2015. And
2014.
2014, I'm sorry. The years are kind of going by. Anyway, we fast became friends. We were kind of scoping each other out when we first met each other. We hit it off, and we got very, very, very close. She became my adopted mom.
Mm-hmm.
She started introducing me to her friends as her adopted son. She became my campaign manager, but more than that, she became my adopted mom. Like I said, she was my confidant. Our relationship kept expanding. Her husband, Larry, I became part of his family. And they took me in as their own. They took me to the Walton Distillery. They took me to meet all the people. Took me back in 9 Mile. I mean, they just did a lot of things. She's been to our house numerous times. I've been to her house and ate Thanksgiving there with her, with my son. And she was just a wonderful, wonderful person. There were times, and I wanted to say something about her. There were times when her and I totally disagreed on a political standpoint or a political issue or about what I said. And let me tell you, she would let me have it. She pulled no punches on the phone. She would let me have it. And I remember one time on the phone, she said, son, with a raised voice, said, I'm your mama. Shut your mouth and listen to me. And I'll never forget that. And she chewed me up and down, and I disagreed with her. And but the thing about her, we would disagree. At the end of the conversation, there'd be a little silence, and she would say, I love you. And I said, I love you too, Mom.
And she would call you son.
Yep.
When she yelled at you, and I loved it.
She would call me son, and then
I love it.
So, and different opinions, but she'd tell me that, man, she look at me, she said, you got me so mad that the what did she say? The tar is leaving my feathers or something like that, or the feathers are leaving my tar. But again, we would always talk, and I found out that she was in the hospital. It really broke my heart. I went over there this past Sunday to see her, and she was alone in ICU. Actually, she was in her hospital room at the time. And I went over there and I kind of woke her up, and she smiled, and, we talked just very briefly. And she looked at me and she goes, I love you. She smiled. So I kissed her on the forehead and grabbed her hand, and she squeezed my hand, and I told her I love you too. And I told her I'd come back. So I went back, I think it was Tuesday. Went back Tuesday, and Lee was there, and met up with Larry. And of course, I didn't have a chance to talk to her because she was already asleep. And then I found out yesterday. I got a phone call from Lee, and then of course Kelly texted me right away as well that she had passed. And I don't think people understand the icon of a woman that she was, or a person that she was. Have this. I lost my mother in 2003. And then she came into my life, and she's the one that brought it up, that you're like my son, you're my adopted son. And we went out and had dinner many, many times. And Larry, her husband, he's a hoot now. He's something else. But for somebody like that to take me in, to teach me, to give her philosophy on politics, and believed in me, saw in me, that wanted me to be a commissioner, supported me. I can't thank her enough. And
Well said.
she has done a lot for the community, whether you agree with her or disagree with her politics. She was something else. She was a strong woman. And it's typical of how strong she was, because she wanted to go home.
Yep,
She wanted to go home yesterday, and she didn't want to be on that breathing machine anymore. And that's just the way Alva is. And she did it her way, is what I'm saying. She did it her way.
She did.
And I'm going to miss her. I love her to death. And her son Todd, I spoke with him yesterday, and we're going to do everything we can to be there for their family. And like I said, there are people out there that have no idea the impact that she's had on this county for the last 50 years.
Oh yeah.
Tim, I know you had interactions with her.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, that phone would ring and I'd look at it and answer that and say hello, and she'd go, "Hey, now Tim." And then I knew there was an opinion of something coming up, and she always ended our conversations on personal notes, because some of her grandkids had my wife when they were in elementary school,
Gotcha.
and then I had them at the high school, and then a couple of her kids I grew up with and knew them. So I've known her in different arenas than most, and you know, we would talk about whatever politically, and then we always talked about those grandkids.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
One young man, he's such a fine young man, and all of them are, but she loved those kids, and she loved those grandkids, and she loved them as much as she loved Onslow County and Jacksonville. So those kids and those grandkids, they knew they were very, very much loved, because she believed what she believed, but she always felt like it was the best interest of the city or the county. And she served in those capacities. Even when she wasn't serving in a seat, she was serving because she was talking to people and working people. And
No, she did.
she was a part of the Court Street reunions and things.
Right.
And she could remember things and tell me things about my dad. I mean, because they interacted and stuff. And I told my mom last night that she had passed away, and my mom said, "My goodness." And because my mom just turned 84 back in June, and Miss Alva Williams turned 80. So having grown up here and been here all my life, there's so many of these people that I've known as a kid, and now in the realm of the world I work in now, I'm an adult listening to them, and I loved hearing from her. I love the conversations, and there's several numbers that pop up on my phone. I know that I need to leave the room because it's going to be an extended conversation, and they're always great conversations and great perspective.
Just
Yeah,
about
that's good
every
stuff.
day I'd get home from the show, and Miss Alva would call, and I'd just get my glass of iced tea, take off my shoes, kick them up on the coffee table, because it was going to be an hour.
Yeah, it was going to be a good one.
I always loved talking to her.
Tell you,
Yes,
the ironic
yes.
thing about Miss Alva is I first met her son, did not know it was her son. He would come to Gold Gym, and I ran into this guy, and that, when I think about it now, it definitely looks like Alva. That's her son. But it wasn't until 3 years later that she wanted to introduce me to her son, after I'd met her and stuff, and he come walking through the door, and he looked at me, and I looked at him and said, "I know you." He goes, "I know you too." I said, "I didn't know that, you're Alva Williams' son." He goes, "Well, I didn't know that, that you're my adopted son." And it was really strange. And that's how I first interacted with her. But I tell you, the thing that I will miss going out with Alva and Larry, you don't understand the love that these two have for each other.
Oh God, yes.
They were funny to be around, because Alva would scream at Larry. Larry would snap back at Alva. But ultimately, Larry
Sounds
would
like somebody else I know.
Larry would always do what Alva told him to do.
Oh, absolutely.
And but I, if pray for Larry, because I saw him. He called me yesterday.
Larry's having a
he's
tough
lost.
time right now.
Well, the one thing
Yeah.
I can absolutely say about Miss Alva is every time you talk to her, she ended it with, "I love you."
Mhm.
You better
And
have at
that meant
least
a lot.
30.
Style.
You better have at
Yeah.
least 30 minutes to an hour, because she and she could remember things back in the 30s, 40s, 50s. I mean, and I never forget. She called me up and goes, Robin, did I tell you about this? No, ma'am, you haven't. And then she, proceeded to tell me, but it was educational. It's a very special lady, Onslow County, and we lost a great one.
She called Dad D.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for coming in this morning.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for taking the extra time and
Oh, yeah,
for the
absolutely.
comments about Alva as well.
Let me look
So-
at this. Every day.
Those messages, that's the
Every
truth.
All right, take a break.
Yeah, we got to take a break, and
Love it.
you can put up with him later at home, right?
I got
You
this.
got it.
Don't you worry about that. Don't you
She
worry.
needs
all
backup.
about
She
that.
knows who to call.
You're live and
You got some love
I gotta go to the
by
doctor.
now.
you're live and local. Real talk on Freedom 97.1, 11:20 a.m. WSME. We'll be right back with weather.
Freedom 97.1 WSME with Jacksonville Cardinal High School football.
Be sure to tune to WSME Freedom 97.1 FM and worldwide WSME971.com tonight as the Cardinals of Jacksonville High School host the Patriots of West Carteret. Pre-game 6:30 with Jerry Allen and Bob Warlick bringing you the kickoff at 7 p.m., followed by the Golden Corral post-game report. Jacksonville High School football is made possible by the following five sponsors: Quizmarch, Happy Chicken, Great Gas, Heating and Air, Jones Funeral Home, Fountain Management, Home Connections of Beulahville, Pro Image, Bryn Mawr Jewelers, the law offices of John Drew Warlick, and David Hull State Farm.
I had a question about my insurance the other day, so I called my new State Farm agent. And would you believe I talked to the same person who remembered my name? They said that was called service. And then they asked if my dog Max was over his cold. They called that service too. And then they helped me find ways to save on my home and auto coverage. I asked State Farm what they called that. They said service.
Call David Hall, State Farm, 910-455-0440, 1218 Country Club Road, Jacksonville.
For lots of family fun and entertainment, enjoy the 52nd Annual Shrimp Festival this weekend, September the 8th and 9th. There'll be lots of family fun, vendors, comedy zone on Friday night with the Shrimp Festival Parade on Saturday, starting at the Community Center. Once again, it's the 52nd Annual Shrimp Festival this weekend, September the 8th and 9th, in beautiful historical Sneeze Ferry.
For 40 years now, people throughout Jacksonville and Onslow County have trusted Barnes Diamond Gallery
for all their jewelry needs for every special occasion. They understand that every day is a special event for someone, whether celebrating a wedding, anniversary, birthday, engagement, or graduation. Let Barnes Diamond Gallery custom design something for you. Barnes Diamond Gallery does on-site repair in addition to their quality and selection of diamonds. Diamond fashion bands, pendants, watches, earrings, gemstone rings, and necklaces for anyone for any occasion. Major credit cards accepted. Layaway available. Barnes Diamond Gallery offers appraisals and pay top market prices for gold and silver. Barnes Diamond Gallery, 461 Western Boulevard, Suite 120, Jacksonville, open 9:30 to 5:30, Monday through Friday.
Hey race fans, New River All-American Speedway, 4744 Richlands Highway, Jacksonville's action attraction, presents Coastal Carolina's premier race, the Malab Carolina 125 Solid Rock Carriers Car Tour with late model stock cars. This Saturday, September the 9th. Also racing will be the NX Legends and Bandolero National Qualifiers, Bombers, and Champ Carts. There will be a meet and greet at 6 p.m. with flag drop at 7. Tickets start at $25. Kids 5 and under free. Celebrate NASCAR's 75th anniversary this Saturday, September 9th. With Coastal Carolina's premier race, the Malam Carolina 125 Solid Rock Carriers Cars Tour, featuring late model stock cars. For information, phone 910-708-0202 or visit NewRiverSpeedway.com. Rain date Sunday, September 10th.
Hello, shoppers. Take advantage of the following specials and many, many more at your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store, where good things cost less. Down home, down the street on the Richlands Highway, Jacksonville, and Main Street, Maysville. A 10-pound bag of fryer leg quarters is only $5.99 a bag. London broiled is only $3.99 a pound. Boneless chicken thighs, $2.99 a pound. Family pack fryer leg quarters, 99 cents a pound. 2-pack pork spare ribs, just $1.49. 10 pounds or more of fresh ground chuck is only $3.79 a pound. And you get a 2-pound bag of Bright Leaf hot dogs for just $7.99. And remember, the beef and pork is cut fresh every day by the butchers at your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store. And they use only the finest and certified Angus beef and Sanderson's Farm chicken. Over in produce, large seedless watermelons, just $4.99 each. White, yellow, or bicolor corn. You get 5 ears for $1.99. Iceberg lettuce, just $1.79 a head. Slicing or Roma tomatoes, just $1.59 a pound. How about a 5-pound bag of russet potatoes for just $3.99 a bag? Sweet blueberries are only $2.99 a pint. And you get a 2-pound bag of tangy lemons for just $3.99. And you get 3 6-packs of the 16-ounce size Pepsi for just $11. That's your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store down the street where good things cost less on the Richlands Highway, Jacksonville, and Main Street in Maysville. Remember, say big with the pig.
It's live and local real talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
And we're back here, and that was an interesting.
Wow.
Woo.
I feel like it was several hours.
I got tired.
I did too.
Hey, if you guys are out and about today or tomorrow, you need to run on down to Tideline Marine and just take a picture of this new boat that they've got in there. Take a picture of it with yourself on it, and just ask George to let me see that thing. Can I slide down the sliding board? No, yes, it has got a sliding board on it. It's got an upper deck. You can do your sunbathing up there. Perfect. It's a pontoon boat with 3 tunes.
With the top deck,
With the top deck.
I'm going to go check
And see,
that
the
thing
other
out.
cool thing is that top deck allows you to have shade down below if you want it.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it does.
If you don't think I looked at that thing very closely.
Oh, you should get that right.
Yeah, you should get that. Made by Aloha Boats, a company that's been building boats since the early 1960s. It's not a fly-by-night group, that's for sure.
No.
It's a lot of boat builders, boat dealers, manufacturers. They go into business, and then after a while, they go out of business. When you find one that's been around like Grady White and like Aloha, since about 63, I think it was. And you've got some good stuff there going. This Tri-Toon has room for big families or for a lot of your friends to enjoy cruising in area waterways. Yes, you can fish on it too if you want to. Kind of like having a big old deck up there. You can have 2 stories of fishing. One on the upper deck, one down below.
I like
That would be a great way to do things.
Yeah.
You just need to drop by and have George give you a look-see. Tideline Marine, 159 Old Bridge Street on the banks of the New River in downtown Jacksonville. Today, southerly winds around 10 knots, seas 2 to 3 offshore, dominant period 7 seconds, sounds and rivers a light chop. Saturday, southerly winds again 5 to 10, seas 2 to 3, dominant period 7 seconds, decreasing to 4 seconds in the afternoon. Sounds and rivers a light chop. And on Sunday, southerly winds 5 to 10, seas 2 to 3, sounds and rivers a light chop. Don't know what the dominant period is going to be on Sunday, and that's going to be dependent upon what happens with that little thing out there called Lee.
That little thing.
Well, today, mostly sunny, high of 89. Tonight, but partly cloudy, low of 72. So it'll be a good weather for the game. Tomorrow, 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Otherwise, partly sunny, a high of 83. Tomorrow night, same, but partly cloudy, a low of 70. Then on Sunday, mostly sunny, a high of 85. 50% chance.
Nice.
But once again,
Yeah,
that's
and
about where we
again,
stand.
Hurricane Lee packing winds right now as of the 5 a.m. advisory of 165 miles per hour. It's been on 9 course, has not changed course at all since its formation. Since it's first formed up, the National Hurricane Center is still predicting that peak may reach as much as 180 miles per hour by the first of the week before it begins to wind down just a wee bit. It's still going to stay a Category 5 storm for a long, long time.
I wouldn't want to be a boat out there.
No,
I hope some of those
no.
local people down there are not even
Be
thinking
smart
about
enough
getting
to
in a
stay
boat.
in port.
Well, they're not. They
Well,
won't.
hopefully they follow the weather.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that they do.
Well, we always hear stories of weirdos who don't. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let me say again, we'll continue talking to you next week about some advice and what to do and all that sort of good stuff, especially for you newcomers. We've dodged a bullet with Idalia. Do not think you are out of the woods.
No.
Lee is not an Idalia, not whatsoever.
No.
That guy is
It's a fierce
is
storm.
a fierce storm.
Yeah.
Monster. That's
It's
right.
spooky
Kelly.
on the radar
The,
too. Has like a
The
face.
wind, the storm with the most wind ever was 19. I forgot when. Had 190 mile per hour sustained winds. This one could reach 180. You won't know the difference between 180 and 190.
Yeah.
Gust will be higher. That's what you-
200 miles an hour this morning, gust.
Could be gust as much as 200 miles per hour. So even for you folks who you've got this weekend to prepare, you don't have to run out and buy bread and water and milk and stuff unless you plan to eat a lot. It may not come here at all. The National Hurricane Center still says there is a possibility of this thing turning.
Right.
We will know more at 11 o'clock.
We have to
The
wait.
11 o'clock advisory. And I'll post it as soon as I can get to it and get her up and running on our Facebook page. And I'll be doing that pretty much all weekend long as well. So anyway, you had some kind of, you've already closed it down. You had some kind of a story.
I'll do it next week.
Yeah. But anyway,
I
sounds
have to go to the
interesting.
doctor, and thank God for doctors sending you like text reminders.
Oh,
because I didn't have it written in my calendar, which I always do. I think it's because this appointment was made a long, long time ago. I forgot I had it, and they texted me yesterday. And I was like, "Oh crap, didn't know."
Oh, yeah.
So I'm glad they send those reminders, or I wouldn't have gone.
2 Republican lawmakers are introducing legislation to force the Department of Health and Human Services, that's HHS, to release with their documents on the origins of COVID-19 or else pay $1 million a day in fines.
Wow.
Republicans, Representative Chip Roy of Texas and Senator Roger Marshall of Kansas claimed that the HHS COVID-19 Origin Transparency Act would require HHS to publicly release all of its records related to the emergence of the virus that brought the world to a halt in 2020. The public health regime continues to conceal the truth regarding the origins of COVID-19, vaccine development, mask, and the pandemic as a whole, according to Representative Roy. Senator Marshall told reporters, our legislation requires the HHS to publicly release all agency records related to the origins of COVID-19, the cover-up of the pandemic origins, and coronavirus research, including vaccine development. It's past time for answers. This is a matter of national security. I have to agree with them.
I have to agree.
All we do is hear rumors. We don't know anything. And the reason we don't know anything is because a bunch of politicians have kept us in the dark with malice aforethought. Why? Did it originate? I remember what we heard, that it was originally, it's not a problem. It was from some animals in open air markets. No, it wasn't.
They'll spend countless hours
No, it wasn't.
on committees and hearings on this for years to come.
It's the most ridiculous cover up I've seen.
Well, did you hear yesterday that they're now saying that it's a strong possibility that there will be an indictment against Hunter
Yes.
by the end of this month?
Yes, I saw.
So I imagine
I
after
think-
that, they'll get back on the COVID.
Yeah, probably. But, don't know what's going to happen there.
No.
Don't know what's going to happen. I mean, the guy is, I can't say he's obviously guilty because he hasn't been to court with it yet, but he was willing to plead guilty
Right.
as long as he didn't get any sentencing,
Yes.
as long as it was just a slap on the wrist and would go away in a year or whatever.
Well, the deal was ridiculous, and I'm glad that the judge saw that
The judge
and
said
questioned it.
that was totally stupid.
It was.
So anyway, he will hopefully have his day in court to prove or disprove his innocence. But there's a lot going to come out if it gets into an open courtroom. Holy moly.
Sure.
There's a lot of stuff going to be happening in a courtroom. That you can guarantee. Let's take a break. And after the break, we're going to be talking with Chris Rayner down at Sports Talk. He's getting ready for Sports Talk coming up at 9 o'clock this morning, right after this show. But we're going to be talking to him in advance about what's
Yes.
going on. And maybe we get a little insight.
Auto racing,
I don't care about that.
NASCAR.
I don't care about that. I
Oh,
want to
I
know
do.
about the Cardinals football game tonight.
Oh, Well, yeah.
Yeah.
We can talk about that
Yeah.
first.
No, the auto racing, they got some really cool stuff going on out here
Yeah,
at
this
our
weekend.
raceway here in
New
Jacksonville.
River All-American Speedway.
Yep. And I'll never remember that. I just always remembered it as a Highway 258 drag strip.
Yes.
So anyway, way back when, that's what I knew it as. Went out there any number of times.
Coastal Plains is what it used to be called.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll be chatting with Chris and about the race. That's a special thing, and it is this weekend, right?
Yes, it is.
And we're talking with him about that and also about Cardinal football
That's
tonight.
right. That's tonight.
You're live and local Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m., WSME.
Birthday on the next Goddard's Gold with a lot of his hits. Don't worry about a thing. She really loved me. Fingertips Part 2. Higher Ground. Uptight. Signed, sealed, delivered. My Sherry Amore. So many songs, so little time. Music, interviews, lots of stories with Stevie Wonder. Birthday Boy, next Gold. Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Freedom 97.1 and at 1120 a.m. WSME.
Hurricane season is here, and if you're not prepared, now's the time to visit Williams Hardware, 3011B Bridges Street, Moorhead Plaza in Moorhead City. Whether for the contractor or do-it-yourselfer, Williams Hardware has the tools and accessories to help protect against high winds and water. Williams Hardware carries power tools and equipment, chains and fasteners, plumbing and electrical supplies. Williams Hardware, your helpful handy hardware store, also cuts glass to size and cuts and threads pipe. When the chores are done and the cleanup is finished, light up that Wilmington Grill for Williams Hardware, 3011B Bridges Street, Moorhead Plaza in Moorhead City. Williams Hardware is open Monday through Saturday from 7:30 till 6 p.m. and Sundays for your convenience, noon till 5. Phone Williams Hardware, 252-726-7158, and be prepared this hurricane season. Since 1997, locally owned and operated Jersey Mike's 301E Western Boulevard right here in Jacksonville has provided only the best hot and cold subs and healthy salads to our community and our military neighbors, and thanks all our customers for making Jersey Mike's a sub above. Jersey Mike's features hot and cold subs in different sizes, served Mike's way or your way, in addition to delicious, healthy salads. To place your order or for takeout, phone 910-353-8091. Once again, Sam Duran and the staff of Jersey Mike's, 301E Western Boulevard, Jacksonville, thanks you for making them a sub above.
Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry, where we love to make you smile. Now proud to be working with Drs. Kim and Tommy Morgan, formerly Morgan Family Dentistry. The Jacksonville and Richlands Morgan offices of Lane & Associates Dentistry blends the latest technology with personal care and attention, so you have an amazing dental experience. The offices of Lane & Associates welcome all ages and accepts all major insurances, including military. Lane & Associates Family Dentistry has been serving the state of North Carolina for over 40 years, with 2 locations in Jacksonville, Richlands, and Maysville. Call for an appointment today at 877-LANE-DDS or online at Lane. Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry. Mohawk All Pet Protection and Warranty is the only copper protection and warranty for all pets, all accidents, all the time. Because your pets are family members too. No matter how you live, we've got you covered. Soft, luxurious, smart strand, forever clean carpet. Gorgeous, durable, Solidtech luxury vinyl tile. Mohawk has the ultimate floor for every room in your home. It's suitable for all pets. For details, contact Watkins Floor Covering online at watkinsnewfloor.com. Watkins Floor Covering, thanking you for voting them the best of the best for 2022 in the flooring, covering, and carpet cleaning category. Watkins Floor Covering. They're more than just floors. It's custom showers, custom tubs, carpet cleaning, backsplashes, bathrooms, commercial, retail, and home flooring too. Watkins Floor Covering. Family owned and operated since 1997 with locations in Jacksonville and Surf City. Watkins Floor Covering. You stand on it. We stand behind it.
Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro reminds you to check your mailbox and find your quote on homeowners insurance. Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro goes the extra mile to make sure you're in good hands, like helping you customize your home and windstorm coverage with their Write Your Own home policy. Yes, save even more when you bundle your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, and even your golf cart. Remember, if it rolls or floats, call Tammy for a quote. You and everything you own are in good hands with Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro. Call today, 910-326-5383. Tammy Fry Allstate, 638 West Corbett Avenue in the friendly city by the sea, Swansboro. Check your mailbox today for savings on your homeowner's insurance.
It's live and local. Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
And we're back live and local. And Chris, do we have you? Chris Rayner there?
I'm there.
There you are.
I hear you.
Okay, we're working some stuff here.
Yeah,
we're
we're
technology going, baby.
we're trying
Can you
something
try
different.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, you got me?
Yes, you're loud and clear.
We possibly may have the biggest show ever in the history of Sports Talk today.
Cool.
And last week was the biggest show ever in the history of Sports Talk until today. We went about almost 2 hours last week. We had to go to a fifth break. It was awesome. Had
Oh, wow.
Bob Sanders, the coach, the former defensive coordinator of the Green Bay Packers on. And today we've got LaVon Vance, track director for the New River All-American Speedway.
Oh, yeah. They got a big event this weekend.
Race going on this weekend. Huge race, as I say. You're going to find out what terms mean, like NX legends, bandoleros, bombers, and champ cars. You'll find out what all that stuff means.
Ooh.
I know what a bandolero is in the old movies, but we'll find out what it is in the racing circuit.
That
So
sounds
we're
like
having a good time today.
sounds like a lot of fun out there. And Lee is also interested in anything racing.
You know I'm a NASCAR fan.
Has Tim already left too?
Yes, Tim's gone.
He may be headed this way too. You never know with Tim when he's going to pop in.
Yeah.
But Lee, after you get through over there, pop on over. We got some drivers in here today too.
Ooh.
I know Lee loves a driver now.
Oh, yeah.
I love me
I'm
some
not gonna tell you if
drivers.
it's a bandolero or a bomber though. You'll have to wait and see.
Oh.
And then we're giving away maybe the best prize package we've ever done because it includes a Jeff Gordon limited edition authenticated car.
I want a
You know,
48.
124 car, yeah.
I need a
And then
48 or the
to
5.
the Down East Wood Ducks game.
Okay.
Hey, Chris, let's talk about the ball game tonight too. Cardinals.
Oh yeah, Jacksonville Cardinals got West Carteret, an old nemesis from the old conference.
Mhm.
But they always, you can have Jacksonville go 9-0, and they play West Carteret at the end of the year, and that's going to be a tough game. They're just always that team that kind of just gives the Cardinals fits. But I think this year the Cardinals have them covered.
I hope so. So,
There's some other big games going on too. We'll have the schedule coming up with all the games. How about the resurgence of Lejeune over there?
Yeah.
Scored points. They're 1-2. But first of all, they won a game where they scored 9 touchdown passes. That was amazing. So we're going to talk about all the high school teams and where everybody's at tonight. We're also going to talk about college football. Last week kicked it off. Carolina had a big win. Duke had a huge win over Clemson. So there's a lot of big stuff going on in the ACC.
sound like a good plan, there, Chris. Thank you.
And if that wasn't enough, we have NFL kicking off this weekend. The Carolina Panthers.
Oh yeah.
As they begin their quest to win the Super Bowl this year.
Yes.
Again.
Why did everybody laugh in the studio?
Did you watch a game last night with the Chiefs and the
How about the Detroit Lions coming back and beating the Chiefs at the Chiefs' house?
I was for the Chiefs and I was like, darn.
Yeah, it's one of those games where you really wonder if the NFL is nothing but a gambling ring, to be honest with you. The way they came back in the second half, hardly any points by two teams that normally light it up a little bit. You know, it's just sometimes you wonder. Sometimes you go,
Well, you guys keep it under control.
We will.
And
one other thing, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Down East Wood Ducks getting ready to head into the minor league playoffs.
Yep.
So we'll have 9 box seats to give away with this 124 car. So
Wow.
probably the biggest prize package
We should all
possibly
go.
in the history of radio.
Yeah, that would be a nice game to go to.
Yes.
It would. That's Sunday at 1.
Right.
And after the front pass through Saturday, it's going to be a little cooler Sunday too. So
Yes,
do
it
not
will
miss
be. All right, Chris. Thank you, sir.
Okay, now
Thanks,
we
Chris.
have one public service thing we want you to get out there.
Shoot.
Okay.
If need be, in about a week, we need everybody to get those fans together and along extension cords and go to the beach and blow that thing back out to sea. If possible.
I like it.
I can provide the power for that.
Okay. Is there enough gigawatts down there to power all those fans?
Yes.
All right. You guys do a great job. Good show today.
Thank you, sir. You have a good one.
See you shortly. Thank you.
All right. That's Chris Rayner, Sports Talk, and they got Sports Talk coming up in a couple of minutes here. And if you heard an echo on the air, that's just the way it is because, the communications between there and here downtown there's a slight echo. I don't know whether it actually got on the air or not. We'll play it back later and find out. We could hear it. I'm sure Chris could hear it, but I don't know whether it was actually on the
studio
air.
to studio.
Yep. We're working on some things like that to make it happen.
Yes.
Okay. Coming up next week, do you have some stuff set up?
I have. I'm working with somebody right now from the Alzheimer's Association, and maybe in Tuesday or Wednesday. Tuesday we have the first adoption, first adoption animal rescue. I may have that twisted. They were in with us last month, and they'll be back in with us Tuesday, bringing in the pet of the month. Pet of the month. She brought in the cutest little dog last month.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Michelle Paul. So she'll be with us this coming week. And we have a few others that we're working on.
We just have to make sure the critters from here are not here when the doggy
Yes,
comes
exactly.
in.
Well, I'll let you know for sure.
Some dogs up for adoption and get a little nervous
And hopefully
around
working
strangers.
on having our district attorney in this week. We
Yes,
haven't had him for a while.
We need
so.
him to come in here.
Yes.
So we'll.
A lot of questions.
I'll reach out to him.
Speaking of such, I understand that there'll be some announcements made today in reference to the shooting that happened last week across from the high school.
Yes, after school hours.
After school hours across from the high
involving
school.
students.
And that some new details may come out.
Yeah,
So
and,
we'll see.
So we keep telling you, wait for the facts.
Always
Jack.
wait for the facts.
All of that social media
Sure does help keep crow off your face.
baloney. Yeah, Crow is right.
You said bologna. I have to tell you, I was in a grocery store a couple of days ago,
Mhm.
and I got some fresh bologna cut
Oh.
right off the. It was so good.
Did you slice it yourself when you got home? Or
No, I
you
had them
do
slice it. No, yeah, it's straight from the deli bologna.
Yeah, well, that's what I.
It's cheaper than buying a pack of it. Already,
It's much better. It's not
Yes.
processed.
no.
All that other stuff in
I think
packages.
it's why my belly hurts this morning because I had a late night bologna sandwich with that good old Duke's mayonnaise.
Oh, I need the Duke's mayonnaise, some ketchup, and some
Ketchup.
not ketchup, but mustard, and some relish type pickle stuff.
Oh yeah,
Sweet
no,
relish.
I do love me some mustard on it.
Oh, put all that stuff there together.
Yeah.
Okay. Have a great weekend.
Right.
Stay tuned. You can check out the National Hurricane Center. At 5 a.m.
Right.
At 11 a.m. At 5 p.m.
It'll be every
11
3
p.m.
hours now.
No, well, it will be every 3 hours at some point in time.
Yes, when it gets closer
Yeah.
to landfall.
But right now it's every 6 hours.
Right.
So you can check it out. And if you want to take a look at our Facebook page regularly, you can do that. I will put it up as soon as I have it and as soon as I can get it posted. If I'm not around my computer at exactly the National Hurricane Center time, it'd have to be a little bit later.
We also posted some information on Miss Alva on our Facebook,
Good.
and there's a link there where you can go to a C-SPAN video and watch her testimony before Congress. It is outstanding. You
Right.
need to watch it.
Right now, we're going to take a break for Fox News. Coming up right after Fox News, it's going to be Sports Talk with Chris Rayner and a whole host of people from around the area, some race car drivers. Some people like just go round and round and round a track.
Better be listening. They're giving away a
I'd get-
diecast 24 car.
I'd get dizzy if I had to do with that.
It's more than that. You have to, if you go one time, you'll be hooked.
I've been.
No,
I've been
I
a
mean
number
to
of
a big NASCAR race.
Oh, well.
A big one.
No, probably. No, yeah, too much noise. Live and local real talk. Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSMA. We will see you on Monday morning. Be safe.
The best deal for the grill is at Jones LP Gas and Oil Company each Friday. Every Friday from 8 a.m. till closing at 5, Jones LP Gas and Oil Company will fill your 20-pound LP gas grill cylinder for only $11. You heard that right. Each Friday till closing, you can have your 20-pound LP gas cylinder filled for only $11.